I was going to be. As I said, I'm just go kill stuff because I need to get practice. I'm very, very unhappy with my performance the previous round of PvPs. It's just uncool. So, in case you had not yet noticed about this particular build, which is a shieldless build, a shieldless Corsair build, as opposed to the shield and shield bank build that I have. The shield and shield bank build that I've got on my console to PC account. Which has a shield and shield banks. Because of that, it is slightly less power hungry and has a great deal more room to maneuver when it comes to my pips management. I mean, essentially, it leaves me without the need to do a lot of that. I don't have to concern myself so much with bouncing back from shields to weapons, being that the plasma accelerators, and in particular when you're shooting 3 of them at a time and 2 cannons simultaneously, are a particularly distributor heavy weapons loadout. Better place to go. So I'm currently in HIP 88204, which is not too far from the HIP 860-87621 battlefield that's being set up, I guess is the best way to put it. Galnet folks over at Galnet News Digest have posited that. Everyone's just sort of looking at it. I've also got the, what is it called? Onyx something or other? Opal Obsidian Directive tagged for when it begins. And I, again, will be playing for Sirius within the power play at the present moment, and probably for the remainder of this particular situation here. So I'm in Huracan, which I think is like the god of weather or something. I don't know. I'll be playing for Sirius in the power play. and I will be also doing the story thing on the Imperial side, because I don't like them. It's just a trail over from the Nain logs that's going to be developing into the Zero Core thing. There's not a lot going on in the story in the Zero Core side at this point. Again, I'm trying to do something. Not trying. I'm doing something that I haven't done with any particular satisfaction on my end. If you guys remember the Nain logs 3309, I did a bunch of videos. They were all essentially like music videos and written dialogues and written accounts. The current capabilities, my current capabilities, because no one is doing their job, leaves me without the ability to make use of voiceover actors. So it leaves me with this mental hurdle of having to try to put together videos. I'm not writing, so this won't be a written story, which puts me in like this weird bind where I am completely undermotivated to do anything having to do with this story, because I'm tying both hands behind my back, and then putting weights on my legs, and then trying to drag something with my teeth from one side of a football field to the next. I think it's like a good way to put that metaphorically. And until I feel like uncuffing myself and taking the weights off my legs, this will be slow going. And I do not feel like doing that right now. Not so much because I don't want the challenge, or like I enjoy that particular challenge, as much as I just don't feel like doing it, and conditions are not amenable to me going over to that other side of the field at the moment. So, patience, y'all. I played the game for about a year before I started the Nain logs. So, there's that. I didn't make much progress. I wasn't looking over into the online world for tips and tricks or any of that stuff. Well, I was just playing the game as the game requested of me. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I will develop these characters. I will develop these thoughts, and then maybe I'll get into it. If some people do their fucking jobs right, we'll see. You're probably wondering who it is that's sitting behind this veil back here. I'd tell you, but even I don't know. That's the nature of veils. If you catch my drift. Good Lord. Also, none of anyone's beeswax clearly, but they're not doing their fucking jobs. Is all I'm trying to fucking point out. At all. God damn it. Alright, so I'm going into a resource extraction site. It's a has-res. Although I don't know why they don't call them res hases. And I'm gonna go kill stuff and practice not sucking for a while. Because Jesus. Alright, focus. Focus. I do not like this bind. That will be better suited to what I'm going to be doing. I can kill this guy, and I'm going to do so. Boosting is taking me far, far out of my range. And how do I control this thing? Leaving me particularly unsatisfied. Also, I also don't like this bind. Huh. Alright. I'm tight, guys. I'm tight. For those of you who speak that language, means that I get loose and relax. Because stiffness in the wrists makes for bad piloting under these conditions. It's the shot again. His face, back over to position. Boost is taking me way the fuck out of nowhere. He is just taking shot after shot at me. Gotta relax. Relax. Let the shot come to me. Bad shot again. Not happy with that at all. My maneuvering is slightly better than it was. I should just start tracking these things for a second. My aim is still wildly off which I do not like. I'm gonna have to get used to the boost again, and the use of boost to provide me with the lateral thrust that I need to fucking strafe these fuckers at this juncture. Which is something that I used to do quite often in the adder, which does that well, strangely enough. Or not strangely enough. Now, I'm not sitting here with like a mass reading of my current build. I can probably call that up on Etsy, which I will do, as a matter of fact. Now, which one am I on? Okay. Give you the heads up on that. Where am I? So I'm gonna go ahead and get that set up. My fleet, Huracan, going to export. I'm going to have to reload that. With GAM data. I'm going to hide that from you so that you not snoop those little Nellies. We'll wait for that to load up, which will take a while, it looks like, because for some reason. I assume it's been a while since there it is. Right, so I'm going to call up my fleet. Where is it? Where is it? And that is indeed the build that I'm working with at the moment. I'm going to export that to Etsy so that you have a solid read on my ship stats. Where is that? Got a total mass. $847 million tons. I don't think that's correct. Pretty close my optimal mass, but I'm also above my minimum mass, which I now see could potentially be a thing that I have to concern myself with. Huh. Alright, we may make some changes today to this particular build. Or produce the outcome. Nope, that's not gonna work either. Suppose I could put a shield on it. I don't. Do I have access to prismatic shields at this juncture. Space-time. Do not. Those are my next. How far am I away from that? 5,000 merits away from that. I have power play missions I could potentially get myself. Don't. So that I can get a prismatic shield into this thing. Possibly. Nail that. So I may do that, but for the time being I'm going to kill stuff because I'm not going to put too much work into that. But that is where my mass is. I assume now that I cannot see what's going on here. I indeed did leave that up. So again, for the time being, I am not going to do those power play assignments. I'm going to kill stuff. Hopefully, I will decide to move over to some place where I can get power play points, power play merits for doing this particular thing. Or I can just wait here until such a time as they unveil our new current war scrum. There is a Galnet entry about the public release of the Panther Clipper. So I'm going to play that for you all to hear while I get myself back over to this place where people are going to be killed so that I can satisfy my lust for getting better.
Has confirmed that the Panther Clipper has entered full production, with deliveries now commencing to shipyards across the core systems. Previously available through limited release, the Panther Clipper is widely regarded as the largest and most capable civilian freighter in history and has already become a fixture of the galaxy's expanding trade and
I'm going to restart that because I had to turn the volume up. I have noticed that these previous streams, the game volume was relatively low, and it would have been awesome to have it relatively high, especially for the last stream from a couple nights ago.
Organization efforts. A Zorgan Peterson spokesperson remarked, "The Panther Clipper represents the pinnacle of large."
Clear. Galnet news. Play.
Panther Clipper enters full production. Zorgan Peterson has confirmed that the Panther Clipper has entered full production, with deliveries now commencing to shipyards across the core systems. Previously available through limited release, the Panther Clipper is widely regarded as the largest and most capable civilian freighter in history and has already become a fixture of the galaxy's expanding trade and colonization efforts. A Zorgan Peterson spokesperson remarked, "The Panther Clipper represents the pinnacle of large-scale transport engineering, meeting the demanding standards of long-range hauliers, corporate logistics and colonization." The vessel's hallmark feature remains its immense cargo capacity, exceeding 1,200 tons when fully optimized, along with compatibility with the advanced Mark II cargo rack system. We're delighted to make the Panther Clipper available to all. The Panther Clipper is now available for purchase at shipyards throughout the core systems.
So the Panther Clipper, which I haven't set up, it'll cost me like 1 billion credits to set my Panther Clipper up for trade. Now, I'm not currently doing any significant trading and hauling. I, again, have not been participating in the colonization and Trailblazers effort. I don't generally do that stuff that they unveil like right out of the gate. I mean, a lot of the time it's stuff that doesn't generally apply to me in my playstyle. So it's not a critique. I just don't. I don't particularly do those things, so it doesn't affect me all that much. I mean, I have a recollection of Arthur claiming on the fucking stream that they were going to look for ways for like individual commanders to make a greater impact. The only thing I'm looking at, again, it's not a critique. It's just I don't play that yet. It just means I have to do hell more work because I'm the only dude that's going to be doing it. It's not a critique. It's just a observation. But yeah, what happened to like what's the word I'm looking for? Strategic assassinations. Oh man, I shouldn't make that comment right now. This is like a really bad time for that. In the real world. But I mean, really though, like where there's got to be like a game setting or a mechanic that they can put in where you can like hunt down the right faction boss of some sort. It has a greater effect than certain other missions. I mean, I could just go into like Imperial worlds and start fucking destroying them, like I did when I first restarted rather. And for this Nain Log's Saturn March, that's always fun, but like in terms of overall individual contribution to power play and galactic chicanery, I feel really limited. This is not the one where I actually put the handcuffs on myself. This is like hardwired. Alright, so I'm gonna come after this guy. But before I do that, I'm going to see if I can practice tracking this guy. Everything's all fucked. I want to say... So for the record, I don't know if I have dead zones set up. But the dead zones, I don't think would particularly alter the nature by which I'm jolting back and forth. But let us find out if that is going to help with my joltiness. I mean, it shouldn't, because it's just dead and then automatic and then like a fucking massive jump. So I'm not currently making use of Thrustmaster's Smart system. I have a support ticket in there, which I have yet to respond to, so I assume they're probably going to throw that away unless I do something about that sooner rather than later. But I'm not using that to alter the curves. So that I've got a slower curve towards the middle, which, if you were watching carefully, would appear to be what would be necessary for me to move with the precision I would need to. Again, it might just be my own overall stiffness. That is not something that I have any know-how nor interest in pursuing. I will be getting back to Thrustmaster about the jitter that I have noticed, which is different than any of these other things. I'm very not happy with this. Also appears to be the case, jitter is pulling down on my barrels. That might not be the case, that might actually just be me. Let's put a scat. Alright, that's clear. Look at that guy. Alright, let's just take this guy down now. So, for those of you who are trying to figure out what's going on, I put in a request for the community managers and voluntary moderators over on the forums to pull down the Nain logs posts. So, for the most part, most of the Nain log posts are currently no longer in the roleplay and lore section of the forums. That came at my request in order to just to get it out of the way. Literally, just like with, if you're not going to be reading the story as is, it's not of any particular use to me. It's probably getting in people's way, because I have a tendency to create edifices, man. I just pave ways sometimes. So, in order to be of aid to the community a little better, and the nerd-ass LARPers that play this game still, I thought it would be in everyone's best interest for the Nain logs to be recognized to be, even in the lore and nerd-ass LARPer world, strategically positioned so that the story itself does not interfere with like the mainline Imperial story and mainline Imperial world. It just doesn't apply to what I'm doing, nor does it help to have the Zero Core organization being fraudulently portrayed as a mainline Imperial wing, as opposed to the, I mean, for lack of a better term, they're fucking Marlinists. And not neo-Marlinists, by the way, weirdly enough. If you've read the story, you know exactly which passages I'm referring to within the story. They're like fucking Marlinist Gnostics or something. Gnosticism being like this archaic, mystic, mystical Christian religion that has a set of beliefs that don't apply to the mainline Catholic, Protestant, and Anglican churches. I mean, they're still more awesome than the regular Imperials, if I'm perfectly honest with myself, because they're a meritorious organization, as opposed to the socially stratified, hoity-toity English shit. But it is slightly different, and with good reason. For those of you who are unaware of the nerd-ass LARP world, in Elite Dangerous, the Prismatic Imperium has a pretty large group of nerd-ass LARPers and nerd-ass roleplayers who abide the Spider Mind, not the Spider Mind, yeah, the Spider Mind Elite Encounters rule set. So if you're into like dice rolling and love the universe, you can check out the Spider-Mind Elite Encounters and also EDRPG for the tabletoppers. I do not know if... you motherfucker, that was a horrible shot. I don't know if those are considered canon lore. I assume they're still not. There's a lot of like interesting story within there that could give you something to think about when you're trying to nerd out Elite Dangerous as a community and universe. I'm stiff. Not playing well. So I don't have anything to say. I'm trying to focus on the here. Or I guess this is just ordinary combat. Fuck Christ. Fuck all that. God damn it. Someone is not happy right now. Someone isn't beat. Overcorrections in the yaw. Which, by the way, the distinguishing characteristic between a Marine Corps member and a Navy member, in response to the question, who? Fuck that. God damn it. Fucking knuckle up, man. Maybe there's a bigger ship that I can try to kill. That'll be more encouraging. Yeah, there's one guy. He's a little bigger. Not relaxed. Quickest way to lose a boxing match. Get yourself all tensed up. Not relaxed in there. I've never had experience boxing boxers. Not a thing. Oh, dude, that. Jesus. Still not happy. I was too not short range enough shot, clearly. Down to 61 in the hull. So, I'll be watching. Jesus. Watching for this. I'm determining whether or not to go back to the carrier for a second. Boy, am I taking a lot of heat right now. Ah, God. Vultures are like infinitely more mobile than a lot of other ships. This is generally a challenge to begin with. I'm not entirely happy with how I'm doing. Poorly timed shot. God damn it. I'm indeed severely disappointed in my play right now. In the event that you are assessing what seems to be the case. I'm on the verge of making a fucking joke about rage quitting my own goddamn gaming. Alright, I'm going back to the carrier in order to re-up my shit. Holy hell, is this not satisfying play on my part. I'm going to... Maybe I just need to do more like fucking rice bowl massaging. Roger Clemens shit. So the Thrustmaster FCS. It's decent stick. I have no complaints. The jitter is something that I've noticed from the Thrustmaster products way from the beginning. It's not uncommon, and it's not that big an issue. But it makes it a little distracting. When I was playing Ace Combat a lot more, it made it damn near impossible to get through the space tunnel. It made it much more difficult in that sense, because the jitter itself would just throw you right into the walls. But the spring tension does not have... there's no way to adjust the spring tension in the FCS as there was with the HOTUS 4. And that one gives you like a little bit less control over your customization of the stick. I mean, it just is what it is. It just doesn't have the ability. You don't have the ability to adjust spring tension. It gives me like a solid measure of what it is and where it should be in terms of like my the amount of energy and stress that I have to put into changing my direction, and it's a consistent one, but just means I have to learn to ride the resistance like a surfer rides a wave. I think that's what they do. Something like that. I don't understand how it works. Although it's not really that as much, because those move. So by definition, it's the opposite. I have to learn to ride that threshold. So I'm going to put a little practice into that, as a matter of fact. I'm going to kill those dead zones. I'm going to resurrect those zones. So that I've got a little more control, or at least a little more position in terms of where those, where that shit's going to be. A livery contract, I don't need any of that shit at all. And hopefully this will improve my response, or rather my ability to ride that threshold.
Welcome, Command. Thank you for visiting this carrier. Docking request accepted. You are welcome to approach, Command.
Gotta be more gentle and firm. Not so gentle yet firm. And not so forceful in my alterations.
Commander, your landing gear is retracted.
That's a weird way to say that.
Docking complete. Ship has docked.
I am indeed unhappy. I am indeed
How
unhappy.
may we assist you?
Caption office. Those bounties, keep them from going away. Power of the forge. What's going on at the moment? Hey, cover. Not that. Okay. 12,000 tons. Core systems. There's like a place that I can go that's gonna potentially have the Panther Clipper. Let's head over to Lanera. Let's head over to ships. I wonder if he's got the Panther Clipper up here yet. Panther Clipper. Well, he's probably had it up here for quite some time. Yeah, there it is. Is that it? 300 million. The most. The most expensive ship. Makes a lot of sense, I suppose. I no longer have to look up where to find them because it says it right there. Right. Not even right. Alright, so I have a build waiting here in Etsy for me to make use of. It's a dumb build, but I like it. I plan to make use of this at some point. Because it makes me laugh. I mean, it's essentially just a mining build to drop bombs onto settlements. In case anyone wants to have a little fun, I'm up for it. But it'll cost me 1.6 billion credits, which is a lot for the time being. I mean, it is what it is. I can get the trades through. I can do sort of what I know how to do in terms of the hauling to get myself to that level. It takes a little while. It's a little different than it used to be. I'm not playing with. I'm not pledged to Ashling this time around. Because of that, I don't get the trade dividends that Ashling provides in the high-tech zones, so I can't do the agronomics, silver and gold coming coursing through the Ashling play groups because of her particular merits and playstyles. But I do have serious trade dividends and the other dealies that come with playing for the young warrior. Is what it is. I'm not going to worry too much about it. But if you feel like just dropping hella mines on a settlement for no reason at all, other than it makes you laugh, I'm into that shit. So just let me know, and I will do that for the sheer pleasure of watching other colors, man. All right. So. For those of you who are playing Elite Dangerous to attempt to build something of great magnitude to make your mark on the universe, I would like for you to know that I too need you to do that. Because if you do not, it will deprive me of myriad surface settlements upon which to drop mines for the laugh and shoot missiles at, because it makes me laugh a lot, because I play this game because I enjoy it. I don't want things that I do in life to be confined to a video game. I'm going to find myself back here in my actual world again, and not able to do anything that I need to do. Because I already have to deal with that, man. I'm not going to explain that part. Not going to explain that. But, yeah, no, I'm not trying to shit on any of you guys that are doing live colonization. I'm just letting you know that. It's a thing about it. So if you guys want to get on that, I'm I feel like the power play grind that's about to come is definitely a great place to debut some of this stuff. Back to combat. I think this time around I'm just going to practice riding the edge of the spring, seeing how much force I can use, or I have to use, to make those adjustments, directional adjustments. I could say that I'm going to be edging this Corsair back and forth. That would be inappropriate. There are children in the world. Dirty, dirty perverts. I'm going to, I'm going to ride the edge and see how the response is on this thing. And see how consistent it is, in order that I'm not making these wild overcorrections in the middle of lining up my railgun shots. So if you watch my ship's hologram in the lower middle right-hand corner of the screen, you will notice the jitter. That is like the main thing I'm concerned about in terms of learning how to maneuver this particular ship. Now the dead zones will simply put a freeze on the middle of that'll extend like the outer outer edges of the center position of the stick. It works to a certain extent because it keeps the jitter from occurring at the center. However, the jitter, if the jitter continues past the threshold, it'll be a very relatively little difference when it comes to the fucking minute changes you've got to make when you're trying to aim a railgun. So there's that guy. I'm wondering if the positioning of my stick at the moment is altering my ability. I'm assuming it is not. It's relatively, I'm like fucking Mr. Burnsing my stick, which is not exactly the best way to have it. But it shouldn't be that big an effect. I wonder if I like get myself higher, positioned slightly higher in my chair, I should be better positioned in terms of like kinesiological efficiency. I don't know if that's even a word. Kinesiology is the study of the human body and its movement. So it is smooth movements. I'm going to do that, as a matter of fact. I'll be right back. I'm going to be sitting slightly higher in my chair. Only slightly. Maybe more than slightly. I think my head's going to be cut off. In the picture, and you guys are just going to have to deal with that. It'll read what I'm 100% convinced, and not even in the least bit doubting at this point. Is my growing baldness? It's too stressed out, man. I don't like this at all. I'm going to be an egghead before the end of the year. What the fuck happened? I just fucking love my hair. Alright, so, back to the game. I'm slightly raised. Oh my god, still not that great. Iguanodon. That's the animal that I'm referring to in my head, although it is a lizard, reptile type thing. The dinosaur is what it is. If you've seen pictures of the iguanodon, that's what my arms look like right now. Alright, I'm gonna kill this guy in order to make it clear that I am still here to do a very particular thing. But are you fucking kidding me? But wow. Okay. But I am still trying to get a better grasp on these thresholds. Joystick response, I guess is whatever. Shouldn't have a choice. You guys remember Game of Thrones? It's hard not to remember. Massive cultural edifice. Like, fucking nerdishness. God damn it. Odd coincidence. I mean, maybe it's not a coincidence. It's probably not a coincidence at all, as a matter of fact. The word for throne is the same word in Italian as it is in Spanish. In case you weren't aware, I assume it has to do with the fact that it's also the same word in Latin, which is the origin of the Romance languages. But for those you don't know, that's a fact. They're calling a shot. Yeah, damn it. I'm going to kill you guys. I took down his drives. This is what in the game community would be referred to as bounty hunting, by the way, in case you didn't know. You go into a house arrest, and then you kill a bunch of wanted dudes. It's called bounty hunting. Disappointing by far. Wide margin. Stop firing. Pulse, laser. currently up at 69%. The holes, I've got some damage to my pulse laser, apparently. Got 22 chaffs left. Flares. Ah! Jesus. That is difficult. Maybe so. Um, my pulse laser is malfunctioning yet again. God damn it. Alright, back to Majesty. Refill this. Sit, staring disappointedly at my screen for a while. I'm going to listen to some music in my headphones. Reason being is that I'm thinking about my hometown of San Francisco. San Francisco, California, in the United States. Which is currently being presided upon by another native of San Francisco, who I don't need to believe exists, because I've never met him. I've never met anybody that knows him. And that is the current norm of identification, apparently. So let's see. Listen to some music. Apparently you don't know that that's the reality. Current norms of identification. Due to a strange reading, apparently, of Rudolf Carnap. Who knew? Who knew that if you read philosophy wrong, you do politics in a weird way? Or if you read it at all, you do it in a weird way. It's weird, and I don't like it. I'm listening to Cross by the Silver Sun Pickups, which is indeed one of my desert albums, desert island albums. I was hip to the Silver Sun Pickups back in my 20s by a coworker of mine. He said, "How do you not know the Silver Sun Pickups or something like that?" And I was like, "How would I know of them at all if I was not told of their existence?" And I've been listening to them recently, and also since my 20s. They're some of my favorite bands. Congratulations to the Serif and Pickups. I think they'll continue to do something great.
Commander, your landing gear is retracted. Docking.
Gotta get loose! God damn it.
Has docked, Commander.
How's that bounty looking? It's a few million. What am I doing on time? Hour and 40. I'm gonna sneak a Silver Sun pickup song into the stream, and then you'll only hear it on this live stream because it'll get YouTube blocked, and I'll be like, that is an appropriate thing to do. Before I do that, I'm going to check now to see if uh, this cargo thing that I was looking at earlier on the previous stream, it's posted to the forums in uh, combination as an addendum to the forum post that I have about the weird cargo hold thing. Um, to see if that thing has now been uh, corrected, although that seems like it would be relatively high turnover speed. It has not been fixed. Fixed it. So this is new, by the way. As you can see, that I've got a ton of gold in here, and I've got, I don't have a ton, but I've got gold, I've got silver, I've got granditerite, and samarium. I mean, I have a bunch of this stuff. A bunch of the stuff I've sold over to the ship before, to the fleet carrier before. I'm not quite sure what it is that's going on that's altering the nature of this relationship in such a way that it makes it so that it's no longer my relationship to fucking deal with, right? Until I figure that one out, or until someone figures that shit out, someone does their fucking job, I'm gonna just have to hold off on this. Ah, Bastion. You guys remember Bastion from fucking Rocks? Was it Rock? It wasn't Rockstar. Who the fuck made that game? Bastion. Super Giant Games. Man, was that ever a game? That shit was a fucking masterpiece, man. I'm as a isometric fucking action slasher, but it's a good one. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Come on with that shit.
Shift has been halted. Move clear of the landing pad. Goodbye, Commander.
I know you guys are super jealous because I'm listening to music, and you guys can't hear the music I'm listening to. But as I said before, I'm listening to the Silver Sun Pickups' second full-length Carnivus. You too can listen. About to get loose. I'm indeed comfortable with all of what is currently on my radars. Um, so, um, now I have yet to pick up an Imperial courier, which at one point was one of my favorite ships to fly. I am sitting here with a dukedom, but I am not currently exploiting that for its current ship possessionism potentials. But I may at some point decide to do so. So now again, I'm going to sneak in a song from the Silver Sun pickups, and then when YouTube hits me with like a copyright warning, I'm just like, no, you're right. I should definitely not do that. So that would be bad. So give me just a moment.
Legato cinematic string.
Oh no, it's a commercial.
Ooh, hold on.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
We are going